People say less is more. At Red Barn, we think less is better. It's what you won't find that sets our natural premium pet food apart. No byproducts, no corn or soy, no fillers. Just the natural ingredients your pets need to live the healthy life they deserve. Look at the label. We want you to. Red Barn Naturals Pet Food. Simply the best. Find it in your local pet specialty store. Visit redbarninc.com/coupon to save $1 off your first can.
Blog Talk Radio.
Ah, baby. When you hug me, I kinda get aroused just thinking about your lips touching mine. As you work your way down to my breast, licking, sucking, and kissing, and I patiently anticipate you entering my chamber as my lips blossom with the juice of sweet nectar, and my belly bursts fragrance of desire. My spine tingles with each thrust you take inside me. When the pressure and heat builds in my vaginal walls, I become like a volcano, ready to erupt at the height of my orgasm. Oh! No one, my dear, has ever come close to this love you inspire. You fill my soul with so much joy. For you, my dear, are my heart's desire. Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Erotic Taboo, Sensual Touch. I am your co-host, Meloni.
And I am Jackie.
And it is I, Colin. Yes, it is me. It is me.
Yeah, so we are here today, ladies and gentlemen. And, again, thank you all for listening and following us on YouTube. And if you don't know, you can follow us on YouTube at Erotic Taboo, Sensual Touch, as well as Facebook. And that is Erotic Taboo, Sensual Touch. So today we're going to do a Tantra review. That'll be our first segment. And then later on we have something really spicy for you. So Jackie, what do you think about the last show that we did?
Well, I guess we gave our listeners something to actually think about, and I would like to believe that those that were interested would actually do their own research and explore the world of masturbation and actually connecting with their partner, building the intimacy in their relationship.
Nice. And Colin?
Well, I think that I thought there was a good show, actually. It was informative, and I, too, hope that, our listeners out there took the opportunity to use, if they gain some new information, to use that on their significant other and try to take take things to the next level in their relationship and in their chemistry. Try to experience something new between each other. See if they can hit a new height and a new level with one another.
Yeah.
And I'm interested in some feedback from you guys as well. You listeners, I want some feedback. Send me some comments and some emails and let us know so we can possibly use your feedback in an upcoming segment.
Yeah. And you know what? I learned something about myself. When I reviewed the show, I know I said on the show that I was terrified of letting go, but I really saw that I was really terrified of letting go. So when we come back from break, I know it's a shame. When we come back from break, we can explore that a little bit more.
Okay.
But yeah, and I think it's good that you admit that, because I believe that's half the battle.
Yeah, and we're going to break. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Erotic, Taboo, Sensual Touch. I am your co-host, Meloni, and I am here with
Jackie
and Colin.
All right. So before we went to break, we were talking about our last show, and our last show was about Tantra and you know, the feel of it. And before we went to break, I said that I really saw myself, you know, the fear in the show. I saw it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I was really kind of like, you know, when we talked about it, I was outside of myself, and I saw that. And so I made a promise to myself to work on that, and that's what the show is about. I can't tell you guys how I'm going to work on it, but I'm going to work on it. And I always look to Jackie for leadership in this, because this is her area of expertise. So Jackie, can you tell me, like, or give me advice, and I know I'm not by myself, as to how I should kind of work on that a little bit of, you know, letting go, and, you know, especially when you're getting a massage.
And that's it. I think that, you know, you're not the only person. I'm going to say that. And I applaud you for actually admitting that, because I think that's a step in the right direction. And, you know, eventually, once you start letting go, because I think part of that stems from you're used to being in control. And because of that, it is really hard for you to just let go. And a lot of us are that way. I know for me, it took a while for me to get to that point to say, listen, I want to experience something bigger, you know, because I know that we're all capable of it. And knowing that, I think the thing that really, really loosened me up was getting into massage therapy, for one, and two, you know, after, like, on the first show when I said that I actually gave a young man a happy ending, and it terrified me, I was embarrassed by it, but that is when I wanted to know more, and in learning more, I learned a lot about myself. So I think that in your case, I think that you're on the right track, because you have admitted that there's a problem. And if you would just take baby steps, like I was telling you on the last podcast, something simple, you know, if you could just start with, we're going to put the massage aside for a second, just start with actually, you know, you and your husband holding hands, just allowing yourself to take each other in, you know, looking into each other's eyes and just breathing one another in. Believe me, it might seem like such a small thing, but you'll be amazed at the results. And that will kind of take you on your path to opening up more and more. You know, I think it's in you, you just have to let it go. I mean, Colin, what do you think about that?
I think that I too think that when you're used to being in control, it is definitely, and I agree, it's harder to let go. Not in all areas, not even if not all, a lot of areas. You want to maintain that control, and I think that if you are open to the idea of even a new exploration into a new area, then yes, you would definitely have to allow yourself to be free and or just let go. Just you have to step out your comfort zone. We tend to stay in the area that's comfortable, that we know. But, to do something different, we have to, or experience something different, we have to do something different. So, let go, trust yourself and your partner, and then you never know. I think you would like it, and then you would be, to yourself, man, I should have did this a long time ago.
Exactly.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jackie. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I get it, that control thing, but I'm going to be frank with you all. It's a little bit deeper than that. And I think Jackie and I discussed this on another conversation when when women go through different things in their lives, it kind of like follows them, and to get to the point where, you're completely letting go, that takes a lot of work. But I'm saying that to say that when I looked at the video, I was like in like a panic mode. I said, "Oh my gosh, I've really got work to do, in this area." So I'm willing to put in the work, and like you all said, it's going to take time. It's going to take those baby steps. And for me, and I have to convey this to my husband too, it takes kind of like a partnership, and it's going to take me feeling as though that I can completely trust him. Because that's like, Jackie, I think we talked about it, women standing in front of a mirror and, embracing themselves. That's the kind of thing, that's the mindset that I'm in when I think about completely letting go.
And that is key, because if we don't do that, you're like blocking yourself from experiencing something greater, because you still have those walls up. And I think for us, especially because, again, like we said, in the last show, we are very, very critical of ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think that blocks us from receiving that love that we so crave, because we have these walls up and all kinds of things are going through our minds. But if you start there, looking at that person, that, like Michael Jackson says, the man in the mirror, start with loving that man in the mirror. That's where it starts. Yeah, that is exactly where it starts. And I think it's a small step, but it's a huge impact on you.
Right.
If you start there, even with things that happen to us in our lives, sometimes we blame ourselves for certain things, but you still have to start there with loving yourself and just telling yourself that whatever we went through in our past is not our fault, and we have to forgive ourselves and change our mindset.
Yeah.
Amen.
That's where it starts, because you're giving power to something we give power to things that are beyond our control. And the minute we understand that, we can move on to bigger and better.
Yeah.
Man, I understand that Jackie preaching right now. I do understand.
True.
It is the truth, though.
True.
That is the truth.
Yeah.
And that's definitely the truth. It affects a lot of people in a lot of different ways. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do, we're going to prepare to take our next break, and as we go into break, we're going to segue into our next topic, this week's topic. which is going to be yin and yang. That's right, yin and yang. What do you know about yin and yang?
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. I can't wait for this. I can't wait. We'll be back.
It will be. It will be.
Exciting.
Sensual touch, erotic, taboo, sensual touch. Touch me, squeeze me hard. Touch me, squeeze me hard.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Erotic, Taboo, and Sensual Touch. And as Colin said, we are going into the subject of yin and yang. And I'm very excited about this subject. But first, I want to ask Colin and Melanie.
Yes.
What do you know about yin and yang?
Well, me, I know the symbol. I'm familiar with the symbol of yin and yang, the circular symbol with the black and white core to it, but then the black and white circles in each of those black and white parts of the circle. I'm familiar with that symbol. What I do know in the limited information that I have is that it is a representation, or the symbol is from ancient China, if I'm not mistaken, and it contains like the beginning and the end per se, the of not just relationship, but just different teachings of the world can relate to it. You know, I've not studied it in detail, in great detail, but that is a limited familiarity with yin and yang. Melanie?
That's actually pretty good, though.
Okay, so here's where I'm completely green. Okay, so I did some research, but before I did the research about it, I remember a saying, and I swear it just is not coming to me right now, but it referenced to yin and yang. And so I know I heard it during my childhood, but I just kind of like equated it to, well, you know, like two peas in a pod, you know, like the same thing or the same liking. But as I did my research, I found out that it was a little bit more involved. It was sort of like opposite. It was, I think the woman is the negative. This is related to relationships. The woman is the negative and the man is the positive. But if you put them together, you know, it's a certain energy. And I did know, like Helen said, it was related to China, or, you know, the Chinese something. It was related to China in some way. Yeah, and it's like a intertwined type of deal. I've seen the symbol. I lied to you not, guys. I've seen the symbol, but never knew what that symbol meant. And I didn't even put the two together, you know, like what people used to say, you know, about yin and yang and the symbol. I never put that together until we started talking about it through Facebook.
Yeah, and before I found out what I knew about it, I thought it was like a carry out or something. That's about all I knew. But until I found out a little more information.
Right on.
Right on. Okay, give me some of that yin yang.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Extra egg.
Right.
Right, but
and
you know, it's so interesting. It's like, yeah, right. Because I think looking at the symbol, and you see it intertwined. It's like the black area symbolizes the female, which is the yin quality of existence, which can be said to encompass the cool. You know, they always say women wear cool, we're flowing, we're receptive. However, when you start diving into like the yang qualities, for men, it encompasses hot, active, hard, strong. Don't get excited, Colin. And the outgoing aspects, the outgoing aspects of life. And I think that that's pretty interesting because when you look at the black and white areas, they are cocooned into each other.
Right.
Much as a man and woman would lie in each other's arms. And I started looking at that like, wow, you know, I looked at it, but you know how you look at something in passing and it's like, hold up, wait a minute. So if you look at that symbol, it's like the black contains a small circle of white, and then the white contains a small circle of black, indicating that yin moves into yang as yang moves into yin. Now, when you start talking about that as far as love making, it's kind of like you're deeply into the yin, which is the resting state, and then you'll automatically find yourself entering the yang, which is the outgoing state. So if you go totally into active yang state, then you'll automatically move into the yin, which is the resting state. And the thing about that is life always seeks balance, and that is through the flow between yin and yang. What do you think about that?
I think that's pretty deep. I also think that it makes sense when you apply it to your relationship or how we interact with one another. If you really take into the consideration that explanation and definition, which was detailed and was definitely on point in describing it, I think that, you know, it makes a lot of sense as it applies to your relationship. And I think that you can also see how men and women, it will cause you to, I guess you could say, opposites. They're opposites, but yet they attract.
Right.
And it causes a oneness to a degree. Like, you know, I think it's deep. Actually, you know, I think that it's pretty deep. You know, I couldn't explain it any more better than you did. You know, I would definitely do some more research on that. What do you think, though, Meloni, in your opinion?
It's definitely, again, for me, this is a green area, and I definitely, as Colin stated, I would definitely need more research on the area. But I think on our Facebook page, and that is Erotic, Taboo, Sensual Touch, for those who want to follow, I put a statement out there yesterday, and I think it basically said, you know, Colin said it, opposites attract. You know, and even if you look at us physically, a man and a woman, we have completely different tools, which is a big indicator that opposites do attract. I mean, we need men and they need us to procreate, you know, and, you know, it's I don't know. It's one of those areas where I don't have a lot of knowledge on it, but I definitely want to gain more knowledge because I think it's deeper than just the relationship side. I think Colin alluded to that, you know, earlier. And so, Jackie, this is one of those subjects that you're going to definitely have to, you know, educate us on. And I think we need baby steps with this.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I didn't want to overwhelm, but I wanted to point out a couple of things about that. And you're absolutely right, because in China, they believe that all the great religious teachings are tied to this symbol. So it's not just about, you know, the relationship between man and woman. It's a little deeper than that. But I wanted to address it from the aspect of men and women, just so that we can see how connected, you know, if we are fully balanced. Let's say, just I'm going to use myself as an example. If I am fully balanced, then I should be able to move in and out of that yin and yang state and be able to experience a higher level of consciousness. If I'm not, then that causes an uproar in other areas of my life. The thing with the yin and yang, because we are going to be exploring Tantra, it's kind of like all one big teaching. So when I say I'm going to take baby steps, I think I want us to really understand that yin and yang are complementary of one another. And the reason I say that is because, let's say, you know how I'm always saying take deep breaths. So each breath consists of a yin, letting go, and out breath followed by a yang, which is life regenerating in breath. And again, each one cocooned into the next and undulating wave. So just think about this, for example. If you go to sleep, and since yin is the resting state, once you awake, you awaken in yang. Now,
Right.
I think
That
that's
makes
pretty
sense.
interesting. Right, exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so it's like just something so simple. I think to me that's kind of like the best way of explaining it and getting people to understand it.
I have a question, Jackie. Okay, so is it tied into the Tantra, the yin and yang? Is it tied into the Tantra? Do you use
Good
that?
question. Good question.
It is, Colin. It is, because it goes back to that breathing. And with that, you know, if you're doing the deep breaths and just opening yourself up to that level of consciousness, it opens you up to receive not just love and great magnitude, but kind of like that oneness with the universe. Because it's taking you to a different level of consciousness. The thing, and especially when you start talking about men, I think one of the problems is, and Colin, you can correct me if I'm wrong, with
okay,
men.
I will.
When you say that it is harder for men to actually let themselves go probably into that area of conscious loving.
I would probably say, or I would probably agree with that, yes. Men, for whatever the reason is, I think just our natural makeup, we tend to be, it tends to become a little more difficult to give completely of oneself to those type of areas. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it's not something now. Okay, using you as an example, would you say now that you would be more open to going to the next level of consciousness?
Well, given, and I think anyone should fall into this category, once you receive new knowledge and new information, okay, then it should allow you to then explore or be open to explore new things as it relates to oneself. So I personally would be open to the ideas of something or exploring newness given the new information now. You know, you can only operate as far as your knowledge will take you. And so once you develop once you establish some new information and new knowledge, then, you know, you can make that conscious decision to, you know, be willing and open to try something new. So as far as me personally, yes, I would like to start to explore some things, given what we've been talking about and educating not just ourselves, but, you know, our listening audience as well.
And that's good. I'm glad that you said that, because I think oftentimes, you know, when you start talking about men, I think it is, your nature to actually, I guess search for new discoveries. Whether it is like just going to like new spaces or some kind of device or invention. It's like men always have that need to do. So
we have
Jackie,
to do,
you said men always have the what?
They're daring, they have that need to do or kind of like fix.
Okay.
It's like they're always searching.
Okay.
They're always searching for like new discoveries.
That's right. We're natural explorers.
The natural explorers, exactly. I was trying to tie all that together, Kyla, so thank you for that.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah. Thank you so much, because I was like, dang on it, I can't tie it together. But, yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think in doing that, I think it's the same when it comes to sex. I think that it's probably not so much you want to please your mate, but I think at the same time, as a man, you probably say, well, she can't tell me how to please her. I'm a man. I know I got this. I could do this.
Wow.
And so and what happens,
I gotta say, I agree. I agree with you. And I'm saying that, and when you said it, the first thing that came to my mind was my husband. And I'm like, damn it. He's going to listen to this podcast. Go ahead, Jackie.
And so I think the thing with that, and it's not to take away or anything like that, but I think that you get stuck in that mind frame. I know what I'm doing. I know how to please her. And we know that you do, but sometimes it's bigger than that. I think that using these principles like Tantra, and we're going to get into that, if you kind of, the thing with Tantra, it teaches you to be patient. You're exploring your mate, and it's not so much I know what I'm doing. It's kind of to bring the two of you closer together, and even taking sex out of the equation, it's building an intimate connection between you two. One of the things, and it's not just your husband, Melanie, because I know with mine as well, if I say, well, come on, let's, do so-and-so, the first thing he says, woman, I got this. Okay. All right. So sometimes I just, I go with the flow, but then oftentimes I say, well, if we try it this way, I know that you know what you're doing, but if you try it this way, I guarantee you the results will be better. And a lot of times it's wording because men don't like to be told what to do.
True.
Yeah.
But and us, and then I got to get on us too, because sometimes we need to fall back too and just let the man be the man. Sometimes we have a hard time with that because it goes back to us being in control of
let me add something to that. Let me add something to that real quick. I mean, and that's fine that that you feel like, okay, you fall back, but in all truthfulness, the man should still be willing to listen and accept what it is that his mate, she, has to say when it comes to the relationship or whatever is taking place at that time. He should still be receptive and not just to shut it down and say, hey, I know what I'm doing. You just follow my lead. No, that shouldn't always be the case in all fairness.
And I agree.
Yeah,
and I
think Jackie was alluding to that, or she said that, yes, you all have to be flexible when it comes to being taught. But Jackie hit it right on the head. It is so important to send that message with a very, very, very soft blow, because you all go into this ego thing. I know what I'm doing. I can do it. No, you can't. That's why we're having this discussion. But it's so important for us women. And I know how, our tongue can, cut a guy.
It's delivery, yes, exactly.
before he even even attempt to do something right. So I think, ladies, we have to be so aware of this, because as they say, words can kill. We know that. So I just wanted to definitely put that out there, because I'm guilty of that, and that's why I'm saying that. Sometimes he's willing. However, I've already then knocked him into next week by what I said. And I mean, I'm just being, I'm being honest. And so of course, he ain't trying to do nothing. He ain't trying to do anything but go downstairs in his man cave. That's it. I done ruined it. So we have to be very careful with that.
Well, I think
our delivery, I appreciate that, because I know that sometimes delivery could just be, it can just shut everything down. Yeah, it shuts everything down. It's like, well, good night. There's nothing happening now because your mouth got ahead of yourself.
Right.
So we have to work. We definitely have to work on that, and as women, we can guide, but it's a right and a wrong way of doing that. You don't want to make, it should never be our intention to make that man feel less.
Right.
But I think sometimes in our own frustration, because we can't get right, then we take it out on that man, and that becomes the tension in the sexual relationship.
Yeah.
And it's hard to achieve that balance if that tension is there, because you two are pulling in the opposite direction. But if you take it further and actually connect, on a different level with your mate, if you just look at intimacy side of it, you'll eventually get that balance in the relationship. I think sometimes with sex comes so much pressure. I mean, wouldn't you all agree?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I think we men could put a lot of pressure on women when it comes to that. I think that we sometimes, unfortunately, we just in it for the for the sprint and not the marathon. And
I like that.
Be that way.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I know we're going to be going to break soon, but I want you two to think about this. And this is for the men. Just think about this for a second. If you could, because we had this discussion before, if you could control your ejaculation, do you think, if you can actually control it, do you think that the sex would actually be better or maybe not as great? What do you think?
It would absolutely be better if you could control it. Absolutely.
Good. I'm glad you say that.
Because you can once you practice doing the tantra, right? Come on, man, give it to me.
Yeah, I wanted to lead into that. That's why I asked that question.
Absolutely, you can control it, and you would. I think it would be wonderful. If you could control it, you can definitely go other places. So that is my personal opinion. I'll practice on controlling it.
Wow, it would be fantastic if we could both control it. And, both have that cataclysmic orgasm all at the same time. That's my favorite word now. I'm saying it, I'm using it for everything. But, I mean, of course, if we could both, work on that control factor, and both have our orgasm at the same time, that would be something. Yeah, something wonderful.
Something beautiful.
Something wonderful.
Yeah. All right then, that was wonderful. Jackie is our resident goddess slash
Oh,
no.
God.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here taking notes, Jackie. I don't know. I don't know about the listeners, man. I don't know what they doing, but I'm taking notes.
Right. Exactly.
I'm glad you on my team. Okay.
Right. I know, because I'm going to be calling her in the middle of the night, Jackie, look, I got a question. But, y'all, we're going to take a very brief break, and we'll be right back.
All right.
Taboo, sensual touch. Erotic, taboo, sensual
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Erotic Taboo, Sensual Touch. Ladies and gentlemen, we covered a whole lot of ground, and so we're going to do a quick review. But before we do, I just like to tell you all or invite you all to follow us on YouTube. That is Erotic Taboo, Sensual Touch. And we are also on Facebook, and that is Erotic Taboo, Sensual Touch. And let me just say, I like to thank the new followers that we've had in the last couple of weeks. We've been getting some great feedback, and I just want to say thank you to the listeners as well. Thank you all. We are here to educate, to have fun with this. We understand that our topics, they can go on. We can take one topic and literally go on for probably a year and talk about different things about that topic.
Yes,
but again, we are here to educate, to bring things that are taboo. We're trying to make them not taboo. We just want to talk about this stuff so we can get past some of these barriers that we have. I am your co-host, Meloni, and I am along with
Colin.
Come on, y'all. We got to get it together.
No, you know what? I was so excited and thinking about things, and I distracted my own self, so I'm back.
Which
I
is
had
quite
a moment,
okay.
just a brief moment. So I'm back, y'all. Sorry about that, but I kind of got up in my head because the thing that I love about this topic is I know that a lot of people are not familiar with it, and I think probably, some people believe because they haven't experienced it that it doesn't exist, or it's just kind of like what we're talking about is probably whack. But what I will say, as a person that has went to many different levels, both, alone and with my partner, let me just get that out there on the table. It is possible to actually achieve a greater love in a sense. It is better with a partner, I will say that, but if the two of you can actually just come together, just practice meditating together, because believe me, that would connect you and bring a level of intimacy in your relationship that you couldn't even imagine. But you have to open your mind up in order to receive it. One of the things that I think when we start talking about sex is most of us, I would say, probably view sex one way. Wouldn't you agree? Wouldn't you all agree?
Yeah, and that's the physical. In and out, over with.
Exactly.
There's so much more to it than that. So much more, as we've been discussing.
Right.
And we're missing it. That I think that's the thing that kind of makes me sad, because we're missing it, and all of us are capable of multiple orgasms or that higher level of connectivity to our mate. But you have to want to try it. And I definitely encourage you to do your own research on it. And again, like I said, start with something small. If you stop making it, get out your head for a second and take the mental away, I guess. Stop putting so much thought into the quick orgasm. Because a lot of times I think that's where there's a disconnect. You know, we're so focused on getting that orgasm. But if you can prolong it, just imagine how significant that would be. Just imagine waves going through your body. And not the YouTube video, Melanie, that you hit me to the other day. I think that was something else going on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But, that was something a little different. But when I say waves going through your body, if you allow yourself to open up and experience that, it's not something that you would do all the time, because believe me, when those waves are going through your body like that, and it's like nonstop, and you're just in a groove, you're relaxed, and you just feel that rippling going through, and you're still breathing because you're like submerged in that orgasm.
Alrighty then. Hey, we ripping, man. The great, remember that, the great space coaster? Yeah, I'm here. Oh my goodness. That sound like you have to untie your toes after you finish.
If you had the energy to even do that, is what I'm saying. I mean, you realize, and I know you guys know this, when you're in school and they're teaching sex education,
right?
You realize the only thing that they're really teaching you is about the reproduction system, STD, and they're not. And I think because I'm not going to take away from teachers, but they're limited to what they can teach. And I think that is a big disservice to our children.
Right.
So just imagine, it's a disservice because you're not equipped. You're just giving them basic knowledge. They're still going to go out and more than likely learn the wrong thing. And then you have another generation of sexually frustrated kids that some may end up having aggressive behavior towards women or vice versa. You know, I think you lead a generation of confused children just on basic knowledge. But if you arm them with the power to embrace their own sexuality, I guarantee you'll have a much happier society.
I probably would agree. More people are getting that. If more people were getting a level of release like that, I think everybody would be happy then.
Yeah, because the thing with Tantra, the purpose, that versus just regular sex, it is actually the conscious, I can't even get it out because I got excited. It's like the conscious creation of harmony and physical well-being. And like the buildup of sexual energy is like transcendent to spiritual levels of consciousness. Now just imagine that. Just imagine that.
Right.
And it doesn't, when you're practicing Tantra, you're not dismissing the ecstasy. You're just going for that heightened ecstasy, that combination of mind, body, and soul coming together as one. That, to me, is more fulfilling than just a quick orgasm. We all are, able to achieve that, but don't you want more? Wouldn't you want more for you and your mate?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think go ahead, Kyle.
Unless you just came home real quick on your lunch break.
That's different. We've all done that.
Yeah.
And this isn't something that you're going to do all the time, but I would say the more that you practice it, I would say the deeper level of connection you'll have with your mate. It wouldn't make you to the point where, there wouldn't be so much a miscommunication because the two of you will be on that same level.
Right.
The thing with Tantra, it makes you more excited. You have bigger orgasms, and the intimacy is there. Because that's pretty much what it's all about. It's just creating harmony in your relationship.
Right.
So you both have to be willing. You kind of have to shed your skin. On the first show I said that we are at our most vulnerable when we're naked. So just imagine you're laying in bed with your mate. Both of you are naked. Well, you're as vulnerable as you could possibly be. That is like the time to connect. You can talk about your day in that moment because all of your inhibitions are gone because you all are just front and center, butt naked.
Right.
Just think about that for a moment.
So Jackie, my question is, and this is my final question, how can we look at Tantra, how can we look at yin and yang, and how can we, put them in perspective as far as our relationships are concerned? So if we look at the two, how can we apply them to our relationship?
Well, I think the main thing is to make a conscious decision to nurture your relationship.
Okay.
So when I say that, it's like you're investing time in taking that relationship to the next level because the ultimate goal is to create harmony in that relationship. That's the main thing. I think, like I say, baby steps and then you build up to it. I honestly would recommend, and I am like really big on this, standing being in front of one another naked and talking. Start with a simple touch, because then there's no pressure. There's no pressure to perform because all you're doing is trying to connect with one another.
Right.
That to me is the big deal when it comes to Tantra, when it comes to intimacy and combining the yin and yang. It is connecting because just because you're having sex with one another doesn't mean you're connected.
Very true.
I'm going to say that again. I'm going to put that out there again. Because you're having sex does not mean you're connected.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think that if you practice touching one another, that is an intimate connection right there. It doesn't always lead to sex, but if you're touching in the right places, it could, but it doesn't always have to be. I think that couples need to focus more so on the intimacy of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
The intimacy
I agree.
of the relationship will then take your sexual relationship to the next level. But you have to build on that intimacy. If you don't have the intimacy, you'll get the instant gratification from the sex, but that's all you have. And is that enough to sustain the relationship?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Exactly. Which is why the divorce rate is so high.
I was going to say, and I just like to add to that, Jackie. I think that we're not taught to value intimacy. We're not even taught what intimacy is. I think we think that intimacy is sex. That's what we think it is,
right.
And it's not.
Absolutely.
Like you said, So I think it's that change of mindset that has to happen because anybody can have sex. Anybody can have sex, but can you be intimate? And it takes a whole lot of learning a person to be intimate. It takes a whole lot of, like you said, putting yourself in a vulnerable state for that person. And that means that you got to trust that person in order to reach that level of intimacy.
That's right, Meloni.
Shut up, Kyle.
That's right. That's right.
And something for the men that they might want to think about, when you get 40 and over, not all men, but some may suffer with erectile dysfunction.
Hey. We off topic. Come on now, bring it back.
No, I'm going to tie back into this. Seriously, it's real. When men actually suffer with erectile dysfunction, what that means oftentimes is that their second chakra is depleted. So let's say you have your first orgasm. It takes longer to build up to get that hard on because not only the signs of age, but you have depleted your second chakra. So it's closed.
Okay, so Jackie, can you explain what a chakra is?
It's like spiritual, they're like the spiritual realms of your body in a sense.
Okay.
So that second one, when it comes to the men, that is where their sexual energy comes from. With that being said, if that second chakra is closed or like you've had your first orgasm and it's depleted, you're not probably going to be able to get it back up. And again, when you're practicing Tantra, if you are actually practicing your breathing and you're meditating, that second chakra would probably hardly ever be closed. It wouldn't be depleted. You can go into multiple orgasms without the aid of a pill, mind you.
Well, very interesting.
Very, very.
So I guess that would then we wouldn't need those commercials that come on TV anymore about the erectile dysfunctions and the pills and all that.
Well, let's think about it. The pharmaceutical companies don't want you exploring other options because that is their bread and butter right there.
Absolutely.
You got it.
Well, that was a lot of information that you brought forth today, that we both brought forth today. I mean, I'm trying to still take it all in, man. That was awesome info. I appreciate that. Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use what I learned.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take our last break for the night, and we'll be right back.
Erotic, taboo, sensual touch. Erotic, taboo, sensual touch.
Each time we get better.
No way.
Oh, and I love that you're talking more. And we're back.
Yes, we are. All right, well, we are back, and we want to thank you all for being with us this evening on another edition of Erotic, Taboo, Sensual Touch. Some great information was presented today by my host, Jackie, and my host, Meloni, and my input from the male's perspective. We definitely want to invite you all to continue to follow us and pass the word. Catch us on Facebook, Erotic, Taboo, Sensual Touch, our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Follow us on there. Leave comments and questions and suggestions. The same name, Erotic, Taboo, Sensual Touch. And be sure to continue to catch us on Blog Talk Radio, where we'll be coming to you with another exciting topic in reference to what is considered to be taboo in our world today. So on behalf of myself, Colin, and Meloni, and Jackie, we say thank you again for joining us on Erotic, Taboo, Sensual Touch. That was our show for today, and be sure to catch us next time. We love you. Peace. Jackie, Melanie, did y'all have anything? Because that was my sign out. I was just, feeling myself. No, did y'all ladies have anything you want to share with the people before we go?
No, we're good.
Yeah,
Thank you all.
Yeah, I have one thing. I challenge everybody to, embrace yourself. Stand in front of your mirror naked. Open yourself up to receive love.
All right.
Amen.
On that note, we're out.
Good night.
Taboo.
Good night.
Sensual touch. Erotic. Taboo. Sensual touch. Touch me. Squeeze me off. Touch me. Squeeze me off.
Adding the choice of a crispy chicken BLT to Wendy's 4 for $4 is the biggest thing since rappers trying to sing.
I got me yacht and I sound like a robot.
But do you like the sound of this? Wendy's 4 for $4 now comes with a choice of a junior bacon cheeseburger or a crispy chicken BLT.
From Detroit to Macon, I keep it crisp like bacon.
Both are topped with crispy applewood smoked bacon and come with 4 nuggets, fries, and a Coke for just $4.
Oh, yeah.
At participating Wendy's for a limited time, meal includes small fries and a drink. Not valid in Alaska and Hawaii. Adding the choice of a crispy chicken BLT to Wendy's 4 for $4 is the biggest thing since rappers trying to sing.
I got me yacht and I sound like a robot.
But do you like the sound of this? Wendy's 4 for $4 now comes with a choice of a junior bacon cheeseburger or a crispy chicken BLT.
From Detroit to Macon, I keep it crisp like bacon.
Both are topped with crispy applewood smoked bacon and come with 4 nuggets, fries, and a Coke for just $4.
Oh, yeah.
At participating Wendy's for a limited time, meal includes small fries and a drink. Not valid in Alaska and Hawaii.